Welcome to Charts Today. My name is David Linton, and today's edition comes to you from New York. I'm here for the week, and so consequently, I'm a little bit later than usual. I'm 5 hours behind London. It's just before midday in London and 7 in the morning in New York. So we're seeing here the dollar index. Interesting, the markets have held up fairly well. We're seeing the dollar index there on the longer term chart, and we are in this sideways range between sort of 97.50, 98.50, and just testing the cloud there. So that means that other currencies, looking at the yen, we're still seeing this short term, waiting to see if we activate a new upside target. That 160 level is pretty critical on the yen. And looking at sterling, because there's been all sorts going on in UK politics at the moment, but sterling could go either way. And looking at the 60-minute chart, we still do have an upside target in train with an unactivated target. We need to break 136 really to activate those targets to 140. So looking at Bitcoin, the short term has just improved a little bit, that upside target met. And if we look at the daily chart, we still do have these targets hanging over us that were generated at 85,000. We have just crossed the cloud on the price, but not yet on the lagging line. So it's a bit more of a neutral position. Stocks are going to be interesting today. If we look at the NASDAQ, that's still holding its gains. Whilst we're above 26,000, we can be relatively positive. But as I covered yesterday, none of the tech majors are making new highs. Amazon is close. Alphabet, we are still not anywhere near. Microsoft, certainly nowhere near. And Meta, again, nowhere near. Nvidia, high hopes here that we will see good results and we'll break higher. But again, the high was in October, and Tesla nowhere near as well with those downside targets. 3 downside targets generated off selling trusts all met, and we are below the cloud there. So looking at bellwethers in the US, as I'm here, interestingly, Apple, new CEO announced yesterday, and we are seeing Apple actually just back above the cloud and looking strong. That downside target now not likely to be activated. And if we look at the 60-minute charts, there was a series of upside targets that have been met, and we are testing the February high at the moment. So really quite interesting there as well. Looking at some of the other bellwethers, IBM, we've got an upside target not quite yet activated. Some of the more defensive plays not looking so good, down 2% on the 3M stock yesterday. And if we look at some of the others like Procter & Gamble, Merck, all still, the Procter & Gamble not looking great there. Merck still has good upside targets, so that's quite interesting as well. So coming back to the general market, if we look at what's going on with the indices, we've got the US indices set to open higher today. They're all up about 1/3%. We've got UK and European stocks higher, and Japan was relatively flat. Looking at bond yields, just my take on the bond market, just always looking at the bonds. We can see here Japan this morning we're just up slightly. This is still a major concern, and even US bond yields are up. Again, we're just seeing these targets in place, and of course UK bond yields also still looking relatively raised. So it's going to be quite interesting just to see if we make new highs there, but the targets are in place. Last of all, we'll just take a quick look at some of the precious metals. We've got gold. Looking at the daily chart, of course, that upside target will be there for a while. I've talked about the weaker trend developing in gold on the short-term chart, and we've got mixed targets, and as a result, that is weaker. And the same is true for silver. We've got a new downside target there, so not looking strong at all. Of course, what's happening in the Middle East. Crude oil, we are just seeing, this is the 1 minute target. You won't really be looking at those, but if we look at the 60-minute chart, we've still got a general picture of bearishness, but the straits remain blockaded. So that's, effectively still anyone's call what's going to happen with oil this week. But we are analysing that as usual every morning for clients. So that's it for today. Until tomorrow, have a great day. I've got a whole series of meetings here in Manhattan, but I'll be back tomorrow. Until then, bye for now.